Panther Nation, what is good? Welcome back to Two Fans in the Stands. I am your armchair GM CJ.
And I'm your favorite couch scout extraordinaire, Tony. Come on one time,
One
every
day at a
time.
All right, y'all. Week 3, we travel across the country to play the Seahawks. We're gonna preview it. Let's get it. Tony, how you doing today, cuz?
Man, I'm cool. I'm cool. I can't call it. Just had a little dinner, in my time
Mm-hmm.
zone. So I'm good. I'm easy like Sunday morning, baby. But it's Saturday. How you
Gotcha.
feeling, cuz? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. To be uh to be determined still how I feel about tomorrow, but
Right.
if at 4 o'clock, we'll find out. All right.
It is what it
So
is, right? Up until then,
it
it is what it is.
up until then, it is what it is. You're absolutely right. But before we kick this off, everybody, thank you to everybody that has subscribed already. All right, we had 847 subscribers, I believe, on our way
40,
to a
yeah.
thousand subscribers. So if you haven't already, please click that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on those post notification bells so you know when our videos come out. We appreciate the love and support that everybody has shown already, and we ask that you please help us get to our goal of 1,000 subscribers. All right. Now, with that out the way, Tony, let's get into this preview versus the Seahawks. What are you looking for?
All right. Better production all the way around the board. So yeah, better production all the way around.
Okay.
Um, I want to see the offense come out and match the defense energy.
Hmm.
Meaning the defense has played pretty good up until this point, but it's the offense that has put them in some compromising situations,
Yep.
caused them to play extra, a little bit more than usual.
Hmm.
So I just want to see them give the defense a break. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Pretty
yeah.
much. I want to see them come out and execute. I'm curious to see what kind of offensive scheme we're going to have this week against Seattle
Mhm.
that we haven't had the first 2 weeks. Is Andy Dalton going to be able to deliver the ball on time? Not to me. He looked shaky
Mhm.
throughout the preseason, through practice and stuff. But Frank Wright seems to have all the confidence in the world in him. I would like to see us get back to the running game. I understand that we were down, falling behind in the last 2 games, and we kind of abandoned it. But I think
Mhm.
if you stick with it a little longer, it can free up some other stuff. We could probably force the defense to bring a safety down in the box and play single high and maybe take a shot over the top. But I just want to see the offense play better as a whole, match the energy of the defense, like I said, and I'm curious to see what Andy Dalton gonna do. How about you? What you looking for in this game?
More of the same. For me, I'm just wondering, is Andy Dalton really going to be a difference maker? Okay.
Right.
Because everybody's giving Bryce Young absolute hell, on Twitter, on YouTube. I done heard they call him every name but a child of God. And me personally, I'm like, if you look at the tape, okay, if you step back, if you watch the tape, especially if you got access to the all 22 tape, okay,
Which most,
look at
which
some of them
majority of the
plays.
people don't.
Look at some of the and if you don't, there are plenty of YouTubers out there that have videos on with the all 22. Look at some of the tape. Where in the hell is he supposed to throw the ball to? Okay, some
Yeah.
of these plays, nobody is open, and if he was out there slinging it like everybody wanted him to, he probably had 27 interceptions already. It just it
Yeah.
just baffles me. It really baffles me. Like, go back and look at the tape. Yes, I will say that there are some times where he may have missed an open receiver, but it hasn't been too many because there ain't been too many times someone been wide open. Okay, I saw a stat
Exactly.
where he was the most
Exactly.
accurate passer in the league, when he had a window to throw the ball. Okay. So I say all that to say, is Andy Dalton really going to be a difference maker? Okay. You know,
That's what I
I
want to see.
I'm not gonna lie. I hope he is. And I hope him doing something, something that kickstarts this offense, and then when Bryce comes back, he can hopefully come back in and just keep it going. Okay. And then
Right.
also
Right.
for me, the running game on both sides of the ball. All right. The Panthers do not need to come out and run the ball up the middle between the guard and the center the whole game and it just not work. We do not need to see a repeat of what we saw last week, Monday with the Saints. All right. I
Right.
think I saw them run one or two plays to the outside. Everything else was up the middle and they kept getting stuff. On the opposite side of the ball, I want to see our rush defense stop the rush from the other team up the middle. Okay. Because
Yep.
the Saints line Taysom Hill and what's his name? Tony Jones, I believe it is. I know the last name
Yeah.
Jones. I might
Tony
be messing
Jones
it.
Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tony Jones Jr.
They lined up, ran straight down Carolina's throat. I probably if to put a percentage on it, I say about a good 75-80% of them plays was successful, getting past the line of
Too many
scrimmage and
times.
getting at least 3-4 yards. And then
Yeah.
I even made a short about Taysom Hill, and it was just like, my God, everybody knows when he gets in the game, what's gonna happen. And they couldn't stop
Yeah.
it. And we talked about this last week, and he was saying he had what was like 75 yards, but my argument to that was those were 75 meaningful yards. When he got in the game, when he got the ball, he made it happen, and Jones Jr. right up the middle, right through our rush defense. All right.
Yeah.
And I just hope that the rest of because to me, that's been the only downfall for me for the defense is the rush defense. I mean, now we've given up some
Right.
plays in the passing game, but our pass defense hasn't really given up a crap ton of big plays, and they've actually done pretty good. Now they gave up 2 plays last week versus the Saints. CJ Henderson, who I give hell to on this channel day in and day out, he was actually in good position, got away with a little bit of a hole, but 50-50 ball, Olave came up with it. Now on the other side, Dante Jackson, now he just got burnt slap out of his shoes later on in the game and gave up the play to a kid or whatnot. But I
Yeah.
think if the defense can shore up the inside run defense, I do believe they would be okay. All right. And offensively, we just gotta, you know, it's hard to explain. For me, it's just not happening. It's just not happening at all. And I still go back to Frank Wright saying it's not the play calling, sir. It is definitely partly the play calling. All right, it's a
Yeah. I
combination
agree. I
of
agree
play
with you on
calling,
that.
execution, and when I say play calling, down and distance and situation. All right. To me, some of these plays don't match where they're at in the field and what they're trying to accomplish. All right. We got to stop getting these second and longs, leading to third and longs. It seems like they're trying the wrong plays on the wrong downs. First down plays, they're trying third down plays. All right. If that makes any sense to anybody, you know what I mean?
No,
It's
that
just
makes
putting them
sense.
in a difficult situation. So,
Right.
but yeah. Tony, all right, you got some stats and some numbers for Panther Nation. You want to go ahead and put that up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this is, I guess you kind of could say, like key to the game or whatever. Right now, this is where both teams rank
Mhm.
offensively and defensively after the first 2 weeks of the season. Carolina Panthers offense is 27th ranked offense overall, 260 yards a game. They rank 32nd in pass offense, 133 yards a game, but they have the ninth ranked rushing attack at 127 yards a game. Defensively, we have the ninth ranked defense overall, 281 yards a game. Fourth ranked pass pass defense at 149 yards a game, and the 25th ranked rushing defense at 132 yards a game. And that goes kind of back what you said about the pass defense hasn't been particularly bad like we may have thought it was going to be, or as it has been. Let me say that. Sorry. And the numbers kind of prove that. But then
Yeah.
also on the flip side, you can look at it and say, well, a lot of teams probably the two teams that we played thus far haven't passed it because they found success running it.
Yep.
Hence why we're 25th ranked rushing defense in the league at 132 yards a game. You know, I said this before, um during the preseason. I think even before the preseason, when it was pretty much confirmed that we was going to have this 3-4 defense, and I was like, it's imperative, it's important to have some. You have to be stout up the middle. You have to have a stout nose tackle, and you have to have stout middle linebackers that like to come downhill. Because those two gaps, those two A gaps outside the center, is 9 times 10 is wide open. And that's
Mm.
where a lot of the gashes to our defense is happening. I love Shaq Thompson, just like pretty much anybody else do. You know, we drafted him in 2015, been with the team ever since 9 years. So I think this is year 10. But
Mm.
he's not a downhill linebacker. He don't come downhill and take on blocks like most downhill thumpers do. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And it's allowing these linemen to reach the second level and cut them off. And now the running back is right behind them in the second level. Now you got to resort to either linebackers or your safeties making a tackle. So I don't know what they're going to do about that. You know, now that Shaq is out the game, not out the game, but done for the
Out.
season, and now we got Gruger Hill to replace him. I don't know if he's a downhill linebacker, but he will come downhill and plug the hole more often than not. And then on the other side, when you look at Seattle, the Seahawks offense is 24th ranked offense overall at 286.5 yards a game, 17th ranked pass offense at 203 yards a game, and a 26th ranked rushing attack at 88 yards a game. So we have an opportunity there if we can shore up the middle of our defense and get consistent stops on the run, we can neutralize their running attack. But my thinking is they're going to try to run the ball a little bit more because our rushing defense isn't particularly that good. You know what
Mm.
I mean?
Yeah.
The defensively, they had a 31st ranked defense overall, 30th ranked pass defense, 325 yards a game, and the 13th ranked rushing defense at 97 yards a game. So there's opportunities for our offense to get some yards, possibly put up some points, and move the ball on Seattle's defense. Right now, I like our run game matching the up against their run defense,
Mm-hmm.
even though they look dismal with the pass defense. Well, hell, we just as dismal with our pass offense. So I don't know
True.
how you how you even
True.
that out. You know what I mean? But if we can go in there, establish the run, pound the rock, move the ball, um, get them to adjust to us per
Mm-hmm.
se, then I think we'll have opportunities to maybe go over the top. Take some shots downfield, back them up, even hit on some, which is the objective. But even not, just throw the ball downfield. You know what I mean? Just throw the ball downfield and
Mm-hmm.
like look, be like we're not scared.
Okay.
That at the end of the day, we're not scared to put the ball in the air. So yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to that. And I have one other slide that I wanted to show real quick because this is what we saw a lot of in the preseason. This is what the triangle read offense is all about. And I wish we would see more of this concept. You have the West Coast triangle read offense, 9 times 10 out of 11 personnel. It's running one running back, one tight end. So you see where you see a lot of crossers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shallow underneath from the slot, the Y over here. This is the tight end. he
Mm-hmm.
runs a shallow set depth. Typically, that underneath and that set depth is right behind the linebackers and in front of the linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
Most defenses are playing the 4-2-5, you know, 4-3 or whatnot, what have you. It's to put these linebackers that's normally right here to put them in conflict. If you coming off a play action, which right here you can't really come off play action because the running back is off to the side here. But if it was play action and getting the linebackers here to come up to pull up some, then you go right over top and hit the shallow depth. If they don't, then if they back up, you hit this underneath. But then you also have the Z wide receiver over here that runs like a slant hook, and he
Mm-hmm.
sits right here behind the center. Because when this clears out and that clears out, the objective is to hopefully have him sitting right there in the middle. Okay. Then you got your running back right here, run alert. We seen one play in preseason where the play was ran perfectly with Raheem Blackshear. Perfect, beautiful pass out the backfield where he ran a wheel route, and I believe Andy Dalton hit him with that wheel route, if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken. You remember that play
Um,
in practice,
I
that
mean,
first week of practice?
yeah, don't get me the line.
Okay, okay, but it was just ran perfectly, and the thing about it, what was tripped me out, you saw when you go back and look at the all 22 tape, you saw a lot of vertical routes, which it didn't make sense to me because a lot of those routes, the receivers were pretty much like in the same area, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were like in the
Yep.
same area. It was like by the time Bryce Young hit his back foot and was set to throw the ball, the receivers were still running routes. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
understand that. And then he's sitting back there holding the ball because he's waiting for some of the routes to be completed and for somebody to get open.
Yeah.
By that time, hell, the rush is there now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just crazy to me. This other slide, this shows them out, running the triangle read offense out with the mesh concept.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we haven't seen a lot of this. This is the X's are just the defenses in the 4-2-5, you know. So it's basically like I said, put these two linebackers right here in conflict. If they
Mm-hmm.
pull up, you go over the top. If they bounce, I'm sorry, if they fall back, you go underneath. Okay, but this is your always your first read
Mm-hmm.
right here. Number one, if he's open, hit him. If not, then you got your 2, 3, and your 4, and you always got your running back with the alert. Running the wheel route, cell route, whatever people call it. Different coordinators, different offenses call it different things. But I just
Mm-hmm.
don't. We just haven't seen a lot of that where the receivers and the tight end create a clear out for the number one receiver. It seemed like everybody has been running the same routes, and by the time the quarterback hits his back foot, they're still running routes. You know what I mean? The couple times that we have seen it ran, there was completions. Hit DJ Chark one time, hit Adam Thielen one time, and it was for good gains. So I just want to see them do more of this.
Everybody running routes out to the parking lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Telling you, man. Telling you. All right. Hey, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and get into what is starting to become, one of my favorite segments here. Let's
Okay.
hit the over under, okay? All
All
right.
right.
So over under, all right. Andy Dalton, 150 yards.
Over.
All right. Over or under the defense giving up 100 yards rushing.
Over.
Mm, I hate to hear that. Okay.
I
Uh
know. I hate to say
I
it.
swear I hate to hear that. Oh my goodness. Let me
You see my
see.
optimism. My optimism is
Yeah,
dwindling right
yeah.
now.
I'm with you. Um, I'm gonna throw this out again too. Miles Sanders over under 100 yards rushing.
Under.
All right. Terrace Marshall, over or under 5 catches.
Under.
Okay. Brian Burns, over or under 1 sack. Because last week he really didn't show up at all.
I go over this week.
Go over. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Cool beans. Score prediction.
You want the truth?
Yeah. The whole truth. Nothing but the truth.
The whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I can see Seattle winning 24-14.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give you the whole truth as well. Seattle 2010. 20-10.
Seattle 2010.
Yeah. I hate to say
Yeah.
it. Going across country, a little bit of a short week, one less day because of the Monday night game. Switching quarterbacks. Offense still doesn't look like it knows what the hell is going on out there. And and my thing is, if you have watched Panther football, okay, in the years that we have not been doing good, it seems like we run across teams and they always have their best efforts against us.
Yes.
They
Yes.
can have a trash ass game the game before. They can have another trash ass game the game after. But when they play us, you would have swore they were the 85 Bears. Or whatever your favorite dominant Super Bowl winning team over the years. You know what I
Right.
mean?
You would think they the number one seed in the NFC or AFC. Right.
Thank you. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
one tough thing about being a Panthers fan, because when we're not hitting on all cylinders, and I mean, if we got a V8, we hitting on a smooth cylinder and a half right now. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. That joker is around here going bop 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 bop. You know what I mean? It's terrible.
Like
It
I
is
don't
terrible.
yeah, I don't think all the negativity that Bryce Young is receiving right now is warranted.
It's not.
Well, first of all, I honestly believe we have a very fickle fan base, impatient fan base, and I know
Mhm.
we have been in the mud at the bottom of the totem pole for years. But like you said a couple weeks ago, Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's
Mhm.
just 2 games. All right, it's
Yep.
just 2 games. The man is still a rookie. No matter how you slice it, no matter what your expectations were, the reality of it is he is still a rookie in the NFL. There hasn't
Mhm.
been a quarterback that I can remember that since I've been watching football has come into the league his first year and just lit up the league and did everything that everybody expected from that quarterback. They come in
Yeah.
and had some good games, throw for
Mhm.
some decent yardage, and had some highlight plays. But at the end of the day, most quarterbacks they have thrown more interceptions than they have thrown touchdowns. They have looked worse than but they have looked worse more than they have looked good. I seen a stat earlier today, and I swear I had to do a double take when I looked at it on NFL.com. Bryce Young stats right now at this time right now it's actually
Mhm.
better than Joe Burrow's.
Mm.
How real is that? Our passing attack, which we don't have a passing attack,
Yeah.
but our passing game, I say passing game,
Mm.
is actually better than the Cincinnati Bengals right now.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That is
If
wild.
you don't
But
believe me,
but
go
I'm
look it up because I was like, did I read this right?
Mhm.
But yeah,
But
go ahead,
I'm
CJ.
glad you brought up the expectations, because I want to make one thing perfectly clear to everybody out there. Because all I hear is everybody was like, "Oh, y'all said this about Bryce and y'all said that about Bryce." You know what? I'll be the first one to tell you. Yes, I said he was the most NFL rated quarterback. I stand on that. I still, I wouldn't go back and change that now, even knowing what I know now. I still think he is. Okay. We all had expectations. And you know, it's just reality has just hit all of us a lot harder than we thought it would, especially with this team, you know, because this offseason, the word rebuild wasn't thrown around all that much. Okay. And the way that they're playing these first two games screams rebuild because nothing is going right. Okay. So I just want everybody out there in Panther Nation. Yes, we all had expectations. Yes, we all thought it was going to look different. But you know what? This is what we got. You know, this is what we got moving forward. Hopefully they'll get better. But you know, I just ask everybody stop the panicking, you know, stop the crying, stop the, you know, fire Tepper, fire. I'm not fire, but get rid of Tepper, fire Fitterer. You know, everybody, oh, Frank Wright's this, Frank Wright's that. Frank Wright is Frank Wright, okay? That's all I'm saying. The man is two games in his first season with the Panthers. All right.
Yeah.
Holla at us halfway during the season. You know what? We might have a different story to tell. I hope. Okay.
Well, you know, like you said, 2 games in, the story is just being written. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's 17, 18 chapters, you know, to this first book, and we just 2 chapters in. Um, I had expectations just like everybody else. I still stand on it. I still believe
Mm-hmm.
he's the most NFL ready quarterback that came out of this year's draft. The receiving core, which I have to take back now, because I was ready to go off on the journalist that said we had the worst wide receiving core in the NFL. And I'm looking at the receiving core and I'm like, that's a lie. We ain't got the worst in the
Yeah.
league. Well, you know what, sir? I apologize. I can't remember his name in PFL because they have proven you right and me wrong. Because right now,
Same here.
they don't look good at all. So
Mm-mm.
I had to give him that. He is not getting any help from his wide receivers. Point blank, period.
Yep. All right. Well, bet, man. Well, Panther Nation, that's been another episode with us here, two fans in the stands. All right. Make sure y'all check out the game tomorrow, 4:05 Eastern Standard Time, as the Panthers travel cross country, take on the Seattle Seahawks. All right. So, as always, if you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notifications so you know when our videos come out. We appreciate all the love and support thus far. And as always, y'all, be safe, be good, and keep pounding.